we can use character manipulation functions to extract or grab a portion of the data in a field. Again, these have to be character data type. You can count the number of characters in a field. You can actually replace, you can grab some data and replace it with other data using these character manipulation functions. Okay, the substring function is used to grab a portion of the data. It requires 3 arguments. The first argument is what field are we reading, or what data are we reading. The second argument is the starting character, and the third argument is for the length of how many characters. So in this particular example, which is the second column of our results, the first column is the zip code field. Unmanipulated is just the zip code field. So that's why we see 98115. The second column of results uses a substring that says read the zip field starting with character 1, but only display 3 characters. So starting with the first character, display 3 characters, 981. Another example of using the substring, again it's 3 arguments, but notice the -3. They're saying count 3 from the end, 511. It means start 3 from the end and go for a length of 2. So starting at 1 and going for 2, we get 11. The substring function is used to grab portions of data from a field or a string. That's called substring. And next is the INSTR function. The INSTR function searches a string for a specified set of characters, or a substring, and then returns a numeric value representing the first character position in which the substring is found. In our examples here, we actually have 3 different examples of the INSTR function. Notice the first example uses only 2 arguments. The first argument is the field, or the data that's going to be searched, and the second argument is the actual character. Remember, this is a character function, so we have to put the character that we are searching for in the INSTR. We're searching for the first occurrence of a comma, so we put it in single quote. And so the first column of our results is the actual name, that's this. The second column of our results is looking for the first occurrence of a comma. And if you were to count the characters in this first record, you would see the comma is in the 9th position. Our third column, again, uses the INSTR function, but this time it has 3 arguments. The first argument is the field or character string to search. The second argument is the character in which we're searching, or excuse me, for which we are searching, again the comma. But it wants you to start. The third argument is the starting position of our search. So it says, don't start searching until you get to the 10th character. Okay, again, if we use that first record, the 10th character is the M in Mike. So it's saying, look for the first occurrence of the comma, but don't start counting or don't start searching for it until you get to the 10th character. It finds that our comma is actually at the 14th character. So it still counts the number of characters, but it doesn't actually start searching until character 10. The third example has 4 arguments. The first argument being the field or column, the data string that we're searching, what we're searching for, a comma, starting at the first position, but we don't want the first occurrence of the comma, we want the second occurrence of the comma. Again, that should come up with number 14. You might want to take and pause this screen and check that check these different examples using the other data. See if it is exactly the 7th character for the first comma, 15 characters for the second comma, and so on. Better yet, try it with yourself with your actual data on your computer or at the Apex website. Nesting functions. This is a very common concept. Nesting functions simply means having one function inside of another function. So again, functions have arguments. The arguments are inside the parentheses. Sometimes you'll use a function on the data that is being used as the argument. In this case, we have the substring function. We need 3 arguments. The first argument is name. The second argument is the name, but a certain character within the name, so we use the INSTR function. And then the third argument, again, uses the INSTR function on the name field. But just know that nesting functions means to put one function inside of another function. Alright, the next function is the length function. This is pretty simplistic. We simply want to count the number of characters in a character string or in a field. Requires one argument. The length function requires one argument. The argument is the data in which you're counting. Okay, next are the LPAD and RPAD function. LPAD means pad to the left of data. RPAD means pad to the right of data. So this first column is just the first name. Character data by default lines up on the left. It's left aligned. Goes from left to right. The LPAD function is going to do, and we're seeing that in our second column of display, is it's going to pad for a length of 12, pad with spaces. And what that means is the length of 12 means we want our data to take up exactly 12 spaces. Jorge has 5 letters. There would be 7 spaces to the left of it. Jake has 4 characters. There'd be 8 spaces padded to the left. Jasmine looks like it has 7, so there'd be 5. Jennifer looks like it has 8, so there'd be 4 spaces to the left. So here's an example where they do the exact same thing, but instead of spaces, they pad with an asterisk. 7 asterisks, 8 asterisks, 5 asterisks, 4 asterisks. The RPAD function would do exactly the opposite. It would pad to the right. Okay, the LTRIM and RTRIM functions are used to remove a specific string of characters. The LTRIM removes characters from the left end of a string of characters, and then the RTRIM would trim from the end or the right end of a string of characters. Let's look at our example. Again, our first column of results is the last name. The second column of results is the address in its entirety, untouched. The third column of results uses the left trim, and the LTRIM and RTRIM both require 2 arguments. The first argument being the data that's going to be read or modified, and then the second argument is the string of characters that's going to be removed or trimmed from the left side of the string of the actual data. So this select statement is saying in the third column of display, trim out the words P.O. space box from the left side of the address field. So basically it's taking out this and leaves us just 651. This third record doesn't have it, so it remains untouched. And in the fourth record it takes out P.O. box and leaves us with just the 677. And the RTRIM will do the same thing, but only if the characters are on the right end of the string. The replace function is used to substitute a piece of data or a string with another specified string. You could grab an entire string of data from a field and replace it, or you could replace only a portion. In this example, we're going to see they replace a portion of the data. Our first column is just the address untouched, and then the second column of results uses the replace function with 3 arguments. First, the data that's going to be modified, in this case the address field. Second, the data that's going to be replaced, in this case PO. And then the third argument is the replacement data, the new data. So we're replacing P period O period with post space office. That's the replace function. The translate function is similar to the replace function, except that it can only replace one character rather than multiple characters. Right, the concat function is used to concatenate 2 character strings together. Now you can do this with the concatenation operator, but this concat function does it for you. In this example, they're going to display the first name in our first display column, the last name in our second column, and the third column is going to be a concatenation of the character string customer number colon space, and then they're going to concatenate the actual customer number. So they get the results here, customer number colon, and then their customer.